completely.
I had been selling drugs for years, man, and you always heard that you're being watched, you gotta watch what you do. So I didn't really, I figured, man, I've been hearing that for the longest time. I didn't think that, that anything would happen. I'm in the gym this one particular night, and I'm with a friend, and we're in the back room of the gym, the locker room. And as I come out, I hear a banging on the door. And I'm like, oh man, it must be one of my friends that forgot something, And sure enough, I open up the door, and a swarm of cops come piling in.
Massive amount of illegal steroids. News 12 Westchester's Rob Hoyle reports it appears the man wasn't just selling them.
One look at Gregory Valentino's arms, and you know something's going on. The 40-year-old is charged with criminal possession of anabolic steroids with intent to sell. Police say they found $75,000 worth of illegal muscle-building drugs at his home and at the Powerhouse Gym in Yorktown, where Valentino is a part owner.
My arrest was headline news. I mean, I paid the price for being a big player, too. I lost everything I had, from my cars to my family, my house, all my money, my bank, everything, my gym. I owned, a health club. They took the whole health club. Look, I'm working out here in this basement. That's what happens. You're sitting in a jail cell saying, how the fuck did I wind up here? Yesterday I'm walking around, and then the next minute you got no money left. Your car's, the cops are driving around in your car. Your ex-wife's got some guy in the bed saying, man, he, with your money, they're living off your money. And you're sitting in a jail cell with a bunch of momos asking you, yo, you gonna eat that corn? Dude, eat it. I can't eat. I'm ready. I'm thinking of ways to jump off the top balcony and kill myself.
Greg had paid the price for his steroid obsession. Steroids are in demand in America and Britain, but in the UK, the law differs. They're illegal to deal, but legal to possess, and relatively easy to import into the country.
Coming through customs, you get stopped. Personal use. You're allowed, I'm not sure what the limit is. Last time I went, it was 125 quid's worth of stuff you're allowed to bring back for yourself. I bought back 10 grand's worth, in a suitcase. It's amazing what you can get in a suitcase. Can't lift it, but it's, and just pay the tax on it. That's what it was for me, it's all for me. They have to prove it's not for you,
This supply feeds a thriving market. An estimated 20% of those using gyms in the UK have used steroids. In response to this demand, Mick Hart has become a self-appointed drug expert for the bodybuilding scene.
I don't call myself a steroid expert. Everybody else does that. I'm an experienced steroid user who's called a steroid expert. I'm called a steroid guru, if I could spell it. The side effects and the problems that people know about more or less in general kick in through lack of knowledge. It's that knowledge that people want. That's the reason why I do what I do.
Mick Hart has built a business road testing bodybuilding drugs and reporting back to his readers. But the self-appointed guru was to meet his downfall.
It arrived to me on my desk in a small tub. Mick, check this out. Oh, rather, what do you think? Have you heard about this? What do you think about it? Never heard about it. Did a bit of research on it, phoned a mate of mine up. He says, take it 20 minutes before you go to bed. It'll knock the fat off you. So I'm thinking, well, I was a chief correspondent, so I've got to write about this. I've got to type about this. The dosage was a tiny, tiny little bit on the end of a teaspoon. And I tried this. Boom. I felt such a buzz. The fat dropped off me. Absolutely dropped off me. Wow, this is good. So I went from a tiny, tiny little bit on a teaspoon. That would be a tub. I was eating 2 tubs a day. 2 tubs a day. In that time, I fell asleep in my car, nearly killed people at the bus stop, fell flat on my face, smashed all my face in, had to physically pull out 7, 12 of my own teeth. I'd made the ultimate mistake. Being classed as a helper and a guide, I'd fallen full flat into this myself.
The drug Mick thought was for fat loss was in fact GHB, otherwise known as liquid ecstasy. Once again, Mick put pen to paper, this time to write another underground bestseller about his GHB hell in tears on a keyboard. The man who was prepared to take anything on the supplement black market was about to hit rock bottom. In June 2005, Mick Hart suffered a massive heart attack.
I gets into hospital and the doctor, I said to the doctor, look, he asked me, did I ever take steroids? Yes, but not last year, only last year. And he started giving me the, well, this is what you get. No disrespect, doc. You do your tests on me now, you do your test. It wasn't steroids that even did, the heart attack was not induced by steroids. The heart attack was being out of shape, too much stress, maybe the odd beer too much, starting work at, say, 6 o'clock in the morning, getting home at 7, 8 o'clock. You know, that's the reason why I got the heart attack. It basically stress, worry about this, worry about that. Plus the kids have been off school, and that's going to anybody an heart attack.
Whatever Mick Hart believes about steroids, it's clear that something has taken its toll on the 47-year-old bodybuilder's health. And the evidence that these drugs lead to serious health problems is growing.
When you take very large amounts of steroids, the health risks are obviously going to be greater than people who take a modest amount for a short period of time. Certainly, people who take very large amounts of steroids over prolonged periods of time are very likely to have much more problems with hardening of the arteries because of the adverse effects of the steroids on cholesterol levels. So my guess as a scientist would be that men who are using very large amounts of steroids are quite likely to have an elevated incidence of heart disease, of heart attacks and strokes when they get into their 40s and 50s and 60s.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's former training partner, Steve Mihalik, is not in denial about the effects of steroids.
When you take anabolic steroids, they take over running your body. The problem is, it's very difficult to come off, and the only way you come off is if tragedy struck. That's what happened to me, or else I still probably would have been on.
Steve first knew something was wrong when he started passing blood in his urine. It was his liver dissolving.
Went for a sonogram, we found a grapefruit-sized tumor and 3 golf ball-sized tumor on my liver. I went up in the hospital, I went cold turkey. The physical symptoms were I had extreme pain because of the liver tumors. Every joint in my body was hurting beyond imagination. My body shrunk down from 220 pounds to about 146 pounds. I almost lost my mind. I wound up in a mental institution. A mental institution. It was a horror story.
And then came the finale.
You plant one little tiny seed of anabolic steroid in your body, even one cycle of steroids, one. That seed grows, embedded in every cell in your body over years and years and years until it's full-blown something. Tumor, cancer, prostate, infertility. That's what happened to me. I thought I was over it, I got off this stuff, but no, it was still playing its dirty tricks on me. And what do I get? I get a massive heart attack. Right? Because the steroid time bomb was still kicking. Even though your muscles on the outside are big, on the inside you are rotting and you're rusting. And this is what happened to me. Boom, rushed me to the hospital, bam, heart surgery. This happened to a lot of bodybuilders, the heart surgery. I'm fine, finally get over that. Got it all clear, I'm all done. Boom, I get hit with a stroke. Okay? And this is all from the steroids that rots the arteries slowly from the time when I first took them in my early 20s.
By the time Steve Mihalik's steroid journey was over, he was left with a testosterone level of a 12-year-old girl and testicles the size of peanuts. But he's lucky to be alive. So it seems is Arnie. Arnold Schwarzenegger took steroids, and like Steve, he's had heart problems, undergoing heart surgery in his early 50s. But will